Hey everyone, and welcome back to Healing Conversations with Sophie Hurley. Oh my god, I've had a nightmare. This is literally like the fifth time I've recorded this episode. I keep getting interrupted, and yeah, the system that I'm using is I've just basically recorded a whole episode, and it's decided to not even save it. So yeah, wish me luck on this one because I'm hoping it works, and I'm hoping I can manage to finish the actual episode. So today's episode is one I've sat with for a while recording. Before recording. It's emotional, it's vulnerable, and it's very personal, but I feel ready to share it because I feel like there are people who listen, that might be listening, who recognise parts of themselves in the story. So today I want to talk about abuse, emotional abuse, control, manipulation, and what that feels like when somebody slowly takes your freedom away, piece by piece, until you barely oh my god, I'm having a really bad day. Can't talk. Until you barely recognise yourself anymore. Anyway, let's get serious now, because obviously this is a serious topic for many. This is my experience. Abuse doesn't always look how we expect it to look. Sometimes it doesn't start with shouting or violence. Sometimes it starts with charm, with attention, with someone making you feel chosen. So my story is, I met an older man who wanted a relationship very quickly. Everything moved fast. Conversations about commitment, living together, plans for the future. And at the time, it felt intense in a romantic way. I thought he really cared. But what I didn't really understand then is that rushing into things can be a huge red flag. Because when somebody moves fast, they don't really give you the time to think. They don't give you the time to reflect. They don't give you the space to notice the warning signs. Before I even realised that was happening, I was in deep, and slowly things started to change. He began blaming me for absolutely everything. If he had a bad day, it was my fault. If he felt insecure, it was my fault. If there was tension in the room, somehow that was my fault too. So I started walking on eggshells. I became hyper aware of his moods. I learned when to stay quiet. I learned when to apologise, even when I hadn't done anything wrong. And that's very tricky because I'm a stubborn person and I hate to apologise when I haven't done anything wrong. So, yeah. But eventually I did start to apologise when I hadn't done anything wrong. Then came the control. So he started commenting on what I wore, making me feel uncomfortable in clothes I used to feel confident in, questioning why I dressed a certain way, making remarks that made me doubt myself. And eventually I stopped choosing outfits just for me. I started choosing outfits to avoid arguments. That's when I realised something important. My choices really weren't mine anymore. And this is how abuse works. So it's gradual, it's subtle, it creeps in quietly. You don't wake up one day and think, oh, I'm being controlled. You slowly just you slowly just adapt. You shrink. I was living in my own flat, yet it no longer felt like my space. He trashed it emotionally and physically, and somehow still managed to blame me for how I felt afterwards. I was left feeling insecure, ashamed, and small because that's exactly how he made me feel. And to be honest, I think that's how he wanted to make me feel. Every time I went out, he'd accuse me of wanting attention. He'd get angry if other men looked at me in the street. He'd call me horrible names, slut, fat, disgusting. He'd often say that he was going to go sleep with people that I wasn't really fond of, and just to upset me and make me feel even worse. Those words cut deeper than people realise. When someone repeats those things often enough, they start living inside your head rent free. You begin hearing their voice even when they're not around, so you start believing them. I became dependent on him emotionally because my confidence was zapped. It was zero. It had been stripped away. My self-worth slowly disappeared. I stopped trusting my own judgment. I questioned everything about myself. And that's one of the most dangerous parts of abusive relationships. They don't just hurt you, they rewire how you see yourself. There's a long list of things he did to me. I won't go into every detail. I don't want this episode to be about tearing somebody else down. What I want this episode to be about is awareness, because emotional abuse is real, control is real, manipulation is real, and being made to feel small is real. If you're listening right now and any of this feels familiar, I want you to pause for a moment and take a breath, because I need you to hear this clearly. Please listen to me here. It's not your fault. Love does not control. Love does not insult. Love does not isolate you. Love does not take away your freedom. Love does not make you afraid to be yourself. If your partner blames you for everything, if they control what you wear or who you see, if they call you names, if they rush the relationship intensely, if you feel like you're losing yourself, again, in bold capital letters, that is not love. That is abuse. I know leaving really isn't easy. Sometimes you stay because you're scared. Sometimes you'll stay because you hope that they'll change. Sometimes you'll stay because your confidence is gone. Sometimes you'll stay because you don't think you deserve any better. I stayed longer than I should have, but eventually something inside me woke up. I realised I couldn't keep living like that. I realised I deserve peace. I deserve safety. I deserve a life where I didn't have to explain myself for existing or apologise for existing. Healing really has been a roller coaster. It hasn't been easy, and yeah, it takes time. Some days I feel stronger, some days I feel completely broken, some days memories hit out of nowhere, but again, I'm rebuilding myself. So if you're in a situation like this, here's my gentle advice to you: talk to someone. Talk to someone you trust. Even if it feels embarrassing, reach out to support services or domestic abuse helplines. Write things down so you don't gaslight yourself. Pay attention to how your body feels around them. Remember who you were before they entered your life. Trust your intuition. Know when something isn't right about a person. You're not weak for staying. You're not broke for loving. Sorry, I've got that all muddled up. I was about to say something else. You're not stupid for loving, and you're not broken. You are surviving, and there is life on the other side of this. I promise you. I'm still healing. I'm still learning. I'm still finding myself again. But I'm proud of myself for getting out. I'm proud of myself for speaking up. And if you're listening and struggling, just know I'm proud of you too. Even if all you did today was breathe. Thank you so much for listening today. And I just wanted to share that if this episode resonated with you, please share it, follow the podcast, and remember, you are worthy, you are powerful, and you are never alone. And again, thank you for listening to Healing Conversations with Sophie Hurley. If you've followed the channel, listened, if you could just drop a comment on how you think these episodes are going. And if anyone's interested in, having a chat or anything like that, I say this on quite a few of my episodes, but I'm always looking for people to share their stories. And obviously I would love somebody to come on and just share their story with me, so that I can pop it onto the channel if they wouldn't mind, obviously with your consent. But yeah, obviously, thank you so much for tuning in and just taking the time out of your day to listen to my stuff. But yeah, hope you take care. Keep just being strong and being you and being the kind of person that you are. I love you, and I'll speak to you in the next episode. Bye bye.